Hello everyone. I haven't streamed for a while, but today I'm gonna play some games, and especially I would like to focus on blunders. I will try to use methods that I described on my YouTube series, Stop Making Blunders. You can visit stopmakingblunders.matbobula.com and get a free workbook with a lot of exercises that will help you to blunder less. But today I'm gonna play some practical games so you can see how am I doing, how I will pay attention to 7 basic tactics. I will pay attention to blunder check, tactical motifs, and all of those things, to calculation, all of those things that I talked about. Of course, I will play rapid games, so probably 10 minutes. So of course I will try to explain as much as I can. Okay, so I will try to find the first opponent. I'm searching for the first player. Okay, and I have got the first opponent. Let's start with the d4. Opponent from Uzbekistan. Okay, let's play c4. Of course, this is just the opening. Opponent is gonna play King's Indian or Grunfeld, most likely. I usually play systems with g3 here. Okay, d5. So you can see that d5 is a Grunfeld defense, and now there is one variation that I can castle, and after pawn takes knight a3, or I can just take it. I usually just capture here. And now I can castle. Usually black plays knight c6, knight b6, or knight b6, knight c6, and in the whole Grunfeld, the main idea for black is to put pressure over that pawn at the d4. Okay, opponent plays c6. There is such a variation. It's not the main line, but there is such a variation. I think I can play knight c3. Takes, and as I remember, bishop f5 was the move. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that bishop f5 is the move in this position because black wants to block my e4 move, and the question is, can I play e4 right now? Looks like that might be a good idea, but I'm a little bit afraid that opponent will attack the center, attack my d4 pawn. So maybe what is a safer approach? I can play rook b1, but that pawn is protected at the moment. Bishop f4 looks like a natural move, but bishop, I cannot play e3 because that bishop might be trapped. There will be a tactical motive of a trap that bishop has got very little space. But you know what? Let's play e4. Let's follow principles. Later I will play bishop e3. Okay, opponent wants to enter to the c4 square. So I cannot ignore it. So what can I do? Bishop e3 and knight d2. This is one option. Bishop f4, second option. But bishop f4 doesn't really respond to that idea. Or maybe I will just develop. Maybe I can just develop. Even if opponent enters knight c4, maybe this is not a disaster. Okay, let's just bring out the rook. You're not sure what to do, activate your pieces. Okay, you can see that opponent is trying to take control over the c4 square. So what can I do? In the worst case, I have got this move, I have got here. So maybe just now bishop goes to f4. At least here bishop is not blocked. Later probably I will develop my queen. Probably into one of those places and bring my rook into the d1. Okay, so pinning the knight. But of course, it's not a good idea for the opponent to lose a tempo like this. So now I have to move my queen somewhere. Opening is almost over. Maybe queen b3. But then maybe opponent will move the bishop back. Okay, that would be very weird. But okay, let's play this. I don't expect. I mean, after this move, probably I will play queen b4. I don't believe that bishop e6, bishop g4, bishop e6 might be good. Okay, so pretty unusual idea. Okay, let's play here. a5, I don't think that a5 is a great move. Of course, I'll be forced to move my queen, but then knight at b6 is gonna be weak. So now, what can I do? I can play a4 myself with the idea to go a5, and almost, I think it forces opponent to go a5, which is one idea. I can also move my knight into that square. So knight e5, either knight d2. Would it be good or not? Of course, it's a very bad idea for opponent to take it like this. So let's maybe play here. I'm controlling c4 square, and it's a very bad idea for opponent to capture because my bishop captures back, and you can see that opponent will have got very weak squares, very weak dark squares. That move also, it weakens black's castle. So let's maybe move my knight to the outpost at the c5. I know that I'm supposed to talk about tactical motifs, blunders, and things like that, but of course, position is not very tactical. It's more strategical. Of course, I see the purpose is for that opponent wants to capture my knight. I can move my rook, but then that pawn will be unprotected. So maybe just simply knight goes to c5. I expect opponent will go e5. But then maybe I can take. Okay, what are my options now? I see tactical motive that bishop is protected only by the knight. That would be fantastic actually to remove that defender. Can I remove it somehow? This is too slow because black has got a time to react, but maybe knight a4. And now in case knight takes a4, queen takes c4 with a check, in between movement I can take a piece. In case opponent plays, escapes with the bishop, I can get a free pawn. So that looks like actually a good idea. So let's have a try. So this is how you can, how you can find the tactics starting from a tactical motive. Of course, I see that opponent still has got this move, but then probably I will just take it and I will go a4, and that bishop is in trouble, and I will get the b6 pawn. Okay, bishop goes there. Of course, I can just take it. And now queen takes b6. Okay, so, it was, I won a pawn by using the tactics, which of course is something very good. Here, opponent wants to destroy the center. I see that king is kind of exposed, so there are some in-between checks, but I do not see any benefit from it. I can take it, but then pawn takes, bishop goes somewhere. Not a bad move, but probably it's better just to move my bishop back. Okay, so now bishop captures or pawn captures. Like definitely more natural would be to capture with the pawn because I keep my pawn structure safe. Taking with the bishop gives me very good piece, but you see, I really don't want to ruin my pawn structure. So let's start with this. Okay, so what? I see, by the way, a tactical motive. There is a potential pin. Of course, cannot use it right now, but maybe one day in the future. But I think that I have to attack, and I don't want to maneuver my rook or something. Let's start attacking the middle. Let's go with this pawn. Bishop protects queen at this time, and now if I take it, queen takes b6, bishop takes b6. It's not bad, but maybe I will take it here first. I'll take here. I have got the passmon that I want to use. So now I can use my bishop. Can I use another bishop? Then opponent will go here. But I think I can go d6. If you know what is a carling, like the sport from the winter, that this is the stone, and those bishops are sweepers. So let's play d6. and bishop. My idea is to go with a check, and if you ever watch curling, you probably know what am I talking about. And later bishop will go to e6. Now rook has to retreat. Okay, or of course rook can capture here, but then I also increase my advantage because you can see that I'm up an exchange. Okay, and what is my plan? Because this is like a next critical position. Of course, I have to exchange pieces because I'm up. I especially would like to exchange bishops because opponent has got bishop pair, which can be quite annoying. Okay, let's go here. That rook protects that pawn. Can I enter? Maybe I will just go here. I want to go there. Also, I want to keep pawns on the board because the more pawns, the bigger chance for me to win. The side who is down on the material is supposed to exchange pawns, and I supposed to exchange pieces. Okay, now would be really nice to exchange rooks. I want to keep A and B pawns. I don't want to exchange them. Okay, let's just enter. Maybe just simple idea. I really want to go rook d7. And of course, we have got the endgame. Okay, opponent resigned. In the endgame, it would be very important to bring my king out and create the pass pawn. This is what you're supposed to do in the endgame. But I have to admit, I'm very happy that I recognized that knight b6 was protecting bishop at c4, and because I recognized the tactical motif, I was able to do a tactics. I was able to remove the defender. Okay, let's play the next game. Let's try to find the next opponent for 10 minutes. Okay, opponent from France, so it has to be French defense. What variation is opponent going to play? Exchange variation. Okay, now white has got 5 different moves from what I know. 1, 2, okay, I told you white has got 5 different variations. It was knight f3, bishop d3, knight c3, pawn goes to c4, and one thing more, but definitely this is a terrible idea because I can just simply play c6 and white just lost a tempo. Bishop at b5 is doing nothing. Okay, bishop goes to d3. So I wanted to play c6 anyway, so that move doesn't really bother me. I'm happy that I played c6, and I can just slowly develop my pieces. I'm stopping the pin. Let's just develop my bishop to g4. So in case opponent plays h3, I have got my bishop is already developed. I can take it, or I can just go back and exchange bishop for the bishop. Usually bishop is slightly better than the knight. Okay, let's castle. In case opponent plays queen e2, I think I have got rook e8. Okay, so here of course I have to go back. But now I don't expect, of course, usually you're supposed to capture towards the center. And I think this is the case. And now let's see what's gonna be white's idea. Maybe white will try to do this move. It's pretty risky, but maybe, who knows. Okay, so white is planning to castle queenside and later attack with that pawn. But there is a tactical motive of a potential pin, as you can see. So can I use it somehow? Rook e8, probably opponent castles, and then is there any good discovery that I can play? Not immediately, but can I do anything with that bishop? I don't see any way how I can change the tactical motif into the tactics. Okay, what about knight e4 now? Takes, queen takes. No, it doesn't give me that much. Maybe I can just develop. Or you know what? Rook e8 will be a useful move anyway. So let's start with this. And later I will decide what to do. In case opponent castles here, I can consider queen a5. Pawn is hanging, probably king will go to b1. Okay, would it be good for me? Or maybe I should just develop. Because opponent most likely will attack me like this. I also have to start my attack. Okay, let's just bring the knight. Let's bring more pieces into the action. Okay, opponent was afraid of the tactic, so opponent is moving there. Can I play queen a5? Okay, it's bringing more pieces. Maybe I can move my knight here. Also, this is not a bad idea. Okay, and how can I bring more pieces after king goes to b1? Common idea is that you are pushing the b pawn forward. This is a common idea, but I do not see any threat. Because when you're attacking, you're supposed to create more threats. You're supposed to create three basic principles that you're supposed to do when you're attacking. Is that you're supposed to create threats, you're supposed to bring more pieces into the action, and you're supposed to make position more open. But I do not see how does it help me pushing the b pawn. Maybe this move, knight takes, pawn takes. In case queen takes, I have got discovery. Oh, and there is also potentially this move. So knight e4 looks quite tempting. Also, you can see that knight here is maybe I can even make a triple attack, as you can see. Now, okay, king goes to b1. Knight e4 or not? Would be really nice to do that triple attack. Okay, let's have a try. Small discovered attack, also attacking here. You know, chess is about creating problems to the opponent, so definitely I do create a problem here. Okay, bishop takes e7. And now you see, okay, let's calculate. There is no other way I have to calculate. One candidate move is rook takes e7. Second candidate move is knight takes here. So let's start. In case rook captures here, opponent probably will protect it somehow. Probably rook goes here. And then I have got, okay, I'm not winning, but I have got a slightly better position because I can bring another rook. I will control the e-file. Maybe I can enter into the second rank. Black is slightly better. But let's calculate second move, that I'm attacking a lot of things. Most likely, opponent will move that queen somewhere, probably to e2. And then in case I capture the rook captures. And then I think I have got two minor pieces. I mean, I have got rook and the pawn for two minor pieces. And the question is, can I get that bishop? If I do, that means that this is like a good variation for me. If I cannot do that, probably this is not correct. But can I get that bishop? I can play queen c7. I don't see any clear way how I can do that. Of course, I can play f6, but it's risky, queen e6. I can play knight f8, and queen c7, but white has got rook e1. So knight takes f2 looks pretty unclear to me. Yes, after queen e2, and maybe there is a difference. No difference if I capture another rook. So I'm not, okay, I have got an impression that that might be good, but for me it's not clear. So if I have to choose between one move that is unclear for me and second move that gives me small advantage, of course I'm going to pick the move that gives me, that guarantees a small, slightly better position. And this is the way you're supposed to calculate. Later I want to bring another rook. I can also activate my, okay, opponent captures. At the first glance, it doesn't look like a great move, because if I capture with the pawn, then there is of course a fork, but probably opponent is planning to go queen e2 and pin it. So I have got, okay, I have to calculate. Again, let me calculate two candidate moves. I take with the pawn, queen goes to e2, probably rook e8, knight goes, escapes somewhere. I think I'm slightly better, but let's take a look. Rook takes here. What white can play? Probably rook e1. Rook goes to e8. I have to admit that I like more. Yeah, it's hard to judge. Okay, you know what? Let's just take it with the pawn, because I think I like that position more. I can place my knight into the d5 later. Let's try this one. Okay, so opponent is pinning here, as you can see. And what can I do now? In case I capture, of course, I have to also remember that time is pretty low. I'm down to 4 minutes. But okay, in case pawn captures, of course, opponent will take it. So what else can I play? Oh, I have got a nice idea. Maybe this move, and later I can enter here. I was talking about idea of moving my knight. Let's do that. Now I also, one threat is knight c4. Another threat is knight d5. That would be an in-between move. I'm attacking queen and protecting rook at the same time. So opponent will be forced to move queen, and I can get a knight. So I think this is like a knight b6 is a pretty promising idea. Okay, and after knight e5, I've been thinking about this move. Okay, but I thought that knight might be trapped after f6. Actually, f6, knight takes g6. Okay, so doesn't work. Maybe I can play this move and later f6, and knight has got a problem where to go. Maybe that would be the way of playing, but yeah, would it be correct or not? Because you can see that knight is trapped, another tactical motive. But I have to make sure that knight cannot go to g6. Yeah. And after this move, queen takes e4. f6 probably doesn't work because queen takes g6. If I play knight c4, I'm attacking. I have got also knight d2. But opponent can take it because my queen's here. So that idea doesn't really work. Okay, so how can I solve that problem? Would be great to trap that knight. How can I do that? Okay, what else? Here takes, knight d7, then unfortunately probably f4 happens. Okay, I'm below 3 minutes. Okay, I really have to speed up. Any other ideas? Maybe just attacking the king. Okay, you know that queen and the knight around the king, it's always like a big danger for the opponent. So let's try to do some kind of tactics here. After this move, you can see that there is like a great tactical motive that I can play there maybe. Of course, I see that pawn, but I have to, I think I can play queen b4, and later I have got this move. Or queen b5, even better, and knight c3. So opponent cannot really take it, because after queen b5, there is a checkmate threat, that opponent has to stop somehow, and then I have got knight c3. Yeah, very powerful threat. Also, I still try to keep in mind that I want to maybe trap that knight if it is possible. And of course, b3 doesn't work because I will play knight c3 directly. Opponent has got a time advantage. Okay, opponent goes there. Okay, can I play this move now or not? Queen goes here. Or queen goes there. Would it be good or not? Or I can even... No, taking doesn't really work. If I go here, opponent will just play b3. If I play queen b4... Okay, you know what? Maybe a good idea is just to bring more pieces into the action. Having the rook on the d file has to be good. Okay, can I play g5 or not? I want to close the position on the queen side because I'm defending in that area. After this move, if I'm not wrong, there is f6. I think f6, which is a fork, and what opponent can do. Am I blind or? Also, there is a pin here. So I put the pressure on the pinned piece and at the same time I make a fork. And I still have got another threat that is in the air. I can try to checkmate the opponent's king. Okay, queen h4. Of course, probably I cannot take it because my rook here is pinned. But what opponent is going to do after queen b4? And now queen is protecting the rook, knight is in trouble, and of course there is a checkmate threat, knight c3. So you can see that a lot of threats are on the board. But if there are a lot of tactical motifs, then usually you can change them into tactics. So that queen b4 move might be actually quite good. Okay, b3. Now one option for me is to capture the knight. Another option is to make a fork. You know what? Why can't I? I think I can eat a cake and have one. I can start with a fork. I will just take the rook and I will just take the knight in the end. I hope it works. So you can see that even in the exchange French, it is possible to make that position sharper. Okay, so probably I will just take it with a check. And then I think I can just take it. Rook is protected. Pawn at the d4 is pinned. Lot of problems for the opponent. I'm up a rook at the moment, so I see that I have got 1 minute 25 seconds, but I really hope that this is enough time for me to checkmate the opponent. After c3, because opponent probably will try to remove the defender, this is what I would like to do if I were white, I always can escape to the d6 square. And I hope I'm safe there. Okay, h6. Opponent is trying to open the king. I mean, last chance. So what can I do? Queen d6, either g6. Let's just take it. Queen protects it. Still I have to be careful because my king is completely open. Okay, and now opponent is trying to get there. If I check, king goes here, rook is under attack. Okay, if I'm not wrong, I have to play here. I have to admit that it was a very smart move, h6. And now I'm protecting the rook. After this move I have got king to f7. My rook at d8 is protected. Also g8 is covered by my king and the rook. Okay, I'm a little bit afraid of this move, but then maybe I can just take it. And after check, king escapes. Okay, g5. But I think I will just take it. Okay, rook h1. Can I play d3? Let's go. Let's try to simplify that position. I have to, when you're defending, I'm defending at the moment, you have to exchange pieces. Now I want to go queen d4. I really would like to exchange queens. Okay, you can see time is almost equal. I mean, opponent still has got 20 seconds more, but I have got no choice. Queen h5, probably, what, rook g6, queen, oh, pawn to g6. So probably I will escape somehow with my king. Or what? Should I cannot take it. Queen takes, also doesn't, okay, I think I have to escape with my king. Queen h4, most likely. I think I can take it. I think I can go there. I think I can hide my king. Okay, without rooks, opponent has got only queen, and now I can exchange queens, and this is, of course, easy win. And now I can just set up even pre-moves with my king, and I can just set up pre-moves and checkmate in the next move is coming, and I win. So you see, another game, there was one, especially one moment when there were like a lot of tactical possibilities. So you see, search for tactical motifs and you will find the tactics in your games. Okay, let's play another game. Opponent from Philippines. Okay, c4. Now this time I play white. c6. So probably opponent will play d5 and it's gonna be the Slav. Okay, let's play knight f3. Okay, this is one option, knight d2, but let's play e3. So Meran variation. Bishop goes to g4. Bishop goes to g4. I used to play knight c3, but let's start with h3 first. Opponent probably will... okay. I didn't expect that opponent will exchange it. Okay. And now in this position, knight c3 actually is not the best move because white wants to play e4 one day. And after knight c3, black can play bishop b4 and pin that knight. This is the reason why I think it's better to start with bishop d3, later castle, and I will decide, but there is a big chance that I will play knight to d2. But castle, of course, is a good solution for me. Okay, so knight c3, opponent will lose a tempo by moving there. Or maybe I can just play b3 and bishop b2. I think it's a good idea to develop bishop. Later I can bring my knight, I can bring my rooks into the center, and later I can start the attack here. In that position, usually white attacks in the middle on the c, d, and e files. Should I be afraid of the e5 move? Probably pawn takes, I can take. And black has got a weakness, an isolated pawn at the d5. But obviously black really wants to play this move. Should I play rook d1? Or just knight d2? Let's just start with knight d2. Okay, knight f8. I'm not sure what opponent is trying to do. Probably to maneuver the knight like this. Let's play e4. I forgot bishop b4. Also possible. Oh, actually I should see before. Bishop b4 was a little bit annoying, but I think I can. Opponent missed that. opponent could try to remove the defender. Okay, you can see I have got two bishops. I think it is called Gorwitz bishops, pointing towards the king side. So of course I will attack most likely in the middle as I promised before, but I can also think about attacking the king maybe one day. Probably rook d1, but maybe also pushing the f-pawn. Would it be good? Maybe I have to hide my king before I open it. Okay, queen f6. What opponent is trying to do? Probably opponent wants to exchange. Okay, let's just bring my rook. There is a tactical motive of a discovered attack, but you can see also my bishop is not protected. So doesn't work. Okay, so opponent indeed wants to exchange. I can play g3, but I don't see how does it help me. Okay. And so it's okay, so we exchange queens. I usually do not mind to play endgames. I wanted to do some tactics, right? I wanted to do some tactical motifs and so on, but I do not mind playing endgames as well. But you need to know that, okay, so I have got a bishop pair. This is definitely a big advantage for me. And opponent has got d4 pawn. It's like a semi-backward pawn. Not completely backwards, but in case opponent will set up a strong attack on that pawn, I might be in trouble. This is the reason why I'm pretty sure that I have to prepare and play the d5 move one day. And there are two reasons why d5 might be good. One reason because I get rid of that semi-backward pawn at the d4, but there is one more reason. I have got a bishop pair. And bishop pair, or in general, bishops are better in the more open positions. So maybe this is why that might be good move. And later I want to play d5 somehow. Oh, but my bishop here is not protected. So, okay, one candidate move, second candidate move. Let's calculate it. Bishop e4, probably rook d8, and I think I have to play bishop f3 before I push it forward. And then I think I can play d5. Okay, but second candidate move, let's calculate takes, takes, pawn takes. I move my bishop somewhere to b5, rook d8. And opponent is up a pawn. There is a chance that I can take it back, but I think there is no need to risk. So let's just slowly prepare that plan. After rook d8, bishop goes to f3. And I think later I can play d5 and try to use my bishops in the more open position, which is of course good for me. Opponent, okay, how opponent can react here. I think that opponent may try to play rook d8, I play bishop f3, and opponent may try to play, let's say, knight g6. The idea is that after this move, takes, takes, and black will try to play here. Okay, bishop g5. What is the purpose of this move? Because I cannot go here because this is not protected piece. So I assume that opponent wants to go bishop f6 and pin that pawn. By the way, it's a good place this is a good place for the bishop. So if I cannot start with this move because my bishop is not protected, after this move I expect bishop f6. And I have to solve that problem. And rook d2 doesn't really solve it because rook will come here. And I think d5 doesn't really work. I will have to bring another rook and I will have to move my bishop away. Opponent, let's say, plays rook here. I move my bishop away. Rook d8, I play d5. Actually, maybe it's not that bad. Is there any alternative line for me? You know, it's always a good idea to have an alternative variation. Bishop f6, bishop a3. I do not see how does it help me. Pushing the f-pawn gives me nothing probably. Okay, so let's just follow the plan. I mean, after this move I can play bishop a1. Oh, let's just double rooks on the d file. And probably I want to keep both bishops because bishop pair will be definitely stronger. So yeah, so most likely after this move, I will play something like bishop a3 and later I will go d5. Okay, so rook goes to d1. This is another super strategical position. Okay, what can I do here? Probably something like this. Opponent wants to enter somehow. And now I think if I go here, knight f4. Should I be afraid of this or not? I don't believe knight at f4 might be good. I just do not believe in this. Of course, I will not play d5 because I will first remove that knight by playing h4. But okay, let's just move my bishop away. My idea is, of course, to play d5 and try to use my bishop pair later. Maybe g3 would. Oh, you see, opponent is trying to exchange it. By the way, smart idea. Okay, so what's gonna happen in case I capture? Rook takes, I play d5. I just got takes, bishop takes here. I see that rook at d8 is not protected, so potentially I can hit there, but opponent will most likely just move it away. Okay, what are other options that I can? Bishop b2, bishop will go to f6, and we'll just repeat moves. After this move, bishop will go to g5 and opponent will exchange it. After b4, opponent will play a5, putting the pressure on the pinned piece. c5 is a very bad move because it creates a very weak pawn at the d4, backward pawn, completely backward pawn. Bishop c5 takes, then takes here. Also, I don't like it because I have got double pawns. So you know what? But if I go back, will opponent attack me like this? I go rook d3, knight f4, rook e3. Oh, I'm not afraid that much of it. Okay, and opponent goes back. So you see, I think that I will start with the g3. It restricts the knight. Maybe later also I will play h4 to control that square. So I can always move my bishop to the c1 square. I think there is no rush and I have got the time to do that. Bishop here is not protected, but I do not see how opponent can take advantage of it. So my idea is to go h4. Maybe opponent will maneuver knight to the f5. I can always use my bishop and restrict it. Bishop a3 here. But after I play h4, I can always escape to c1. Rook d7. Okay, this move probably doesn't really work because takes, captures. No, I think it's way too early. Let's start with the h4. Let's restrict opponent's pieces even more. Probably I expect this move. And then what? d5 or not d5? Now probably d5 still doesn't work. I still have to move my bishop somehow. If I go there, I expect... I cannot even go there because d4 pawn is hanging right now. Okay, so this is even more challenging than I thought. Okay, so maybe what? After this move, maybe opponent wants to go here. That might be because you can see that here is pin, here is pin. So this is probably my opponent's intention. Wants to go like this. So if I play bishop c3, I can make sure that the rook is protected. And after c5, I can just take it. And I think should be fine. Let's play bishop c3. Safe move. So now my opponent has got a lot of pins, a lot of tactical motifs. And now I have to pay attention to opponent tactical possibilities. Also, I think that useful idea might be to bring bishop to the e4. It just looks more active, and maybe bring my king to the e2 to make sure that my rook at the d2 is protected. Maybe opponent will also move the king or something. But if opponent moves the king, actually, I have got always check. Oh, I also see that I have got bishop a5 move. It's attacking the rook, and the rook has to escape because, you know, rook escapes and white can play d5. Maybe this is a good idea, because b6 doesn't look like a great move because it makes the c6 pawn very weak. Oh, another idea. You can, okay, here. So opponent wants to go here, opponent wants to take it. So most likely I will play here. Prophylactic move. But another idea that just came into my mind is I can maybe move it like this. Okay. Opponent plays g6. Of course, opponent wants to go here. And what is going on? Opponent has got 4 attackers. I have got only 3 defenders. So I have to take it. It's not a disaster, but if it is possible, I would rather avoid it. So if I start with this move, opponent goes here. Then I go back, knight f5, c6 is hanging. So after this move takes, I can just take the rook. Let's try this idea. Okay, you can see it's like a very deep maneuvering in this position. Okay, I'm not afraid of b6. In case rook goes somewhere, maybe I will bring my king closer. Because I think d5 now it's, oh, okay, b6. I think I have to go, I mean, do I have to go back? Maybe I can go there. And now I keep an eye on that knight. And you see, it's like opponent cannot capture d4 because knight is in trouble, and that knight is also the defender of the c6 pawn. And here after c5 I can just take it because my bishop protects d2. Let's try it. In case bishop takes d4, I take. Okay, it's a very complicated bishop takes f2. Pretty complicated variation, but I think just rook take, okay, c5. I think I can just take it. Rook takes d2. I have to take it with the rook. And then most likely rook takes here. Does it work? I don't believe that I can sacrifice the rook. So I have to take it back. And pawn takes, and opponent has got some weaknesses there. So I think I can just attack it like this. Now pawn is in trouble. Opponent will for sure play bishop d4, and now I can take it, pawn takes. And now we have got bishop against the knight, and now I have got also some pass pawns. So I have to bring my king closer. Probably f5. If I were, I would expect this move. Then bishop b7. I want to use my pass pawns. Opponent will attack in the middle. Usually, if there is such a race, bishop should be slightly better. But yeah, we'll see what's going to happen here. Okay. First impression, it has to be correct. Takes, pawn g takes. I go here, e5, f4, f6. I'm not 100% sure. Let's start with this move. Opponent has to play there. And now, should I take or not? Looks very tempting, but is it correct? If I start with I cannot start with f4. Okay, let's just take it. Let's see. Should I play there or maybe just simply f3? Let's just play c5 first. Let's just bring my pawns more forward. Here. Because opponent has got only one pass pawn. I have got 2. Maybe this is not enough. I'm trying to push them as far as I can. Okay, I don't want to move my pawns because I would rather keep a tempo or 2 tempos. Of course, I see I can play f4 than f6. a4, okay. Maybe I will, but this is, you know, maybe this is, I'm just thinking, maybe I will have to sacrifice something. Maybe I will just move my king somehow and allow that pawn to move forward. And then opponent, I will just go and checkmate the opponent's king or something. There is such an idea. Let's say here, c6. Okay, let's play c6. Should I play here or not? Does it win or not? That's c6, okay. Here, d3, b6, takes, king c8. I go here, d2, check, here c7. Okay, I think I'm losing here. Let's play f3. Okay, I have to think. I really have to think how to do that. f3 is just wasting the move. Opponent can go a6. I completely forgot about it. So then probably I will, okay, opponent doesn't play it. b6 doesn't really work. But okay, let's play here. Let's just wait. Okay, 27 seconds. I don't have enough time, unfortunately, to calculate it. After king d6, I will play b6. After this move, I think I'm just waiting. Can I somehow create another pass pawn? If I go here, takes, here. Yeah, looks I do not have enough time, and this is unfortunately, 18 seconds. Let's even check it with the engine, this position, because I have got an impression that there was a win. Takes, here. Okay, I just opened the engine, right? So probably you cannot see that, but here and now, okay, I had got, this is win for white. That position, I can see that this is win for white, because what white can do right now, white can play a6. I knew that there is something like this, and after this move f3, and in case king escapes somewhere, then b6. Takes, pawn takes, king goes to b8. And you remember I told you earlier that maybe I will have to move my king somehow and allow opponent to push that pawn, and this is the moment. After d3, king c6, pawn goes to d2, and now a7. And after this move, I have got this move. Promotion, here, and checkmate. I really regret that. I mean, time is also part of the game. So yeah, but I knew that probably there is something good that I can do, and that would be a really nice idea for me to do. But yeah, okay. Anyway. Okay, I think that was my last game for today. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Also, and hope you will pay more attention to tactics, tactical motifs, calculation. You can also find more materials on my YouTube channel, or you can visit stopmakingblunders.matbobula.com and get a free ebook with a lot of exercises that will help you to blunder less. Thank you very much for the watching, and hope to see you next time. Bye.